Hello, welcome in, and thank you for joining me for this Mind, Body, Spirit reading. So sharing your energy to get a few messages, to see what's going on in your headspace, in your body, maybe what your soul is speaking to you, and how those things may be connected or possibly disconnected. So we will see what we get out here. We'll start out with the position of the mind. Okay, so we're getting two cards: health and acceptance. All right, so health, I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. And acceptance, I'm learning to accept the things I cannot change. In the position of the body, I know what I am here to do. And let's see what comes out for soul. Adversity, I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. And at the bottom of the deck, love. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. All right, so we'll add some tarot to it. We'll start with mind, with health and acceptance. So you may be thinking about your health a lot. I don't know if you've taken any action in a certain direction, but this could be something that's been at the top of your mind recently. And maybe there is something going on with your health that you've had to accept, right? So feeling like this is definitely tying in to the body with those messages coming out. And again, maybe there is, something you've struggled with, whether it's a specific diagnosis or condition. Maybe you've been battling with your weight your whole life, or something like that. So it could be different for everybody, of course. And knowing that everything does serve a purpose. So there is potentially something that you're needing to learn about yourself as you face those challenges and struggles. And then with adversity, I just saw 222 on the timer. Again, accepting that challenges are the best way to learn. And breathing love into all of it. So I don't know if this is so far resonating for you. Again, health at the top of the mind, needing to accept something. So let's see what comes out with that. Yeah, Four of Pentacles. Potentially could be feeling stuck energetically or physically in something. This can also be a protective energy. So you could be protecting yourself. Let's get another one here with this. All right, actually a couple more came out together. Ooh, quite a few. All right, Knight of Wands, let's lay them out. The Sun, that's positive. Four of Cups, Eight of Arrows. All right, let's get a good look here. All right, so something is kind of nudging you or urging you to take action. The Knight of Wands is action-oriented. And notice how he's looking at, I don't know if that is a goose. Are there white geese? Or a swan, I guess. How he's looking at the Four of Pentacles card, where there is a little bit of protection or stuckness. So the Knight of Wands is urging movement forward, as is the Sun. Right, looking more towards the future with positivity, because there's definitely been Four of Cups, Eight of Arrows. This is disappointment, even sadness, feeling really anxious, stuck in your head, not really sure what to do, where to go, how to handle something. All right, but with the Sun in the center of all of these, again, that's breathing in positivity, lightness, brightness. Yeah, making sure you're investing your time and energy in the right things. And knowing that your mindset has a huge impact on everything. Right? If you see everything as negative, it will be negative. If you can flip things to be more positive, that can help shift out, right, of feeling stuck, of feeling sad, of feeling really nervous or anxious. So that's where that acceptance comes in, especially if this is something that you cannot change. All right, let's move on to the position of the body with purpose. I know what I am here to do. Right? For many of us, we don't, right? We don't really feel like we do, but somewhere within your body is information, right? And your body has intelligence. So even in this example where health seems to be a really big focus, so we'll keep going down that example, right? Your body knows what to do if you can give it the opportunity to heal. And so that can also be with some of this Four of Cups energy is instead of being in your anxious mind, just allowing yourself to settle and be a little bit more still. Right? Allow that healing process to take place. Right? But that can be really difficult. So bringing in possibly some meditation to help calm the mind, especially if the mind is overactive, which it feels like it might be where there's a little bit of stuckness here. Around your health. Six of Arrows is moving on to something better, right? So wherever you've been, it's been a little bit choppy. It has not been serving you well. And you're ready to move on. Again, there has been some disappointment, but it's time to move forward. Again, taking that positive thought with you, maybe leaving the negative thought behind. So moving in a new direction. All right, we're getting a lot of cards out here today. Let's see here. All right, Six of Arrows, Knight of Pentacles, King of Wands, Page of Arrows, Nine of Arrows, Knight of Cups. There is sort of this flip-flop energy going on. And maybe this is something you've been back and forth with, or there's been ups and downs. Like you see some progress and some positivity, and then there might be a little bit of a setback, right? But letting that not affect your mindset, taking action and moving forward, finding a new direction. And again, maybe this is something with your physical body where you take up a new practice or a new activity. You try something new, right? Obviously, if this is a serious medical condition, always, getting the opinion of your doctor, your healthcare provider, or maybe you're into holistic healing or whoever you work with in that way. And know that slow and steady wins the race, right? Progress doesn't always happen immediately, but it takes that dedicated action and those dedicated steps. So moving forward in a new direction, but dedicating yourself to that new path, even if it does feel a little bit slow, right? We want things to be a little bit quicker and a little bit faster. Right, the King of Wands here. I'm feeling even a little bit of impatience as he's kind of waiting for the snail to show up. Yeah, so not letting yourself get too impatient, being patient with your body. And again, letting it do its thing. Page of Arrows, Nine of Arrows, Knight of Cups. Yeah, you could get information, results, something along those lines that does have you feeling a little bit anxious or upset here. You could even be having a really hard time sleeping. Right? You're wanting transformation, and again, you're wanting it faster. You're wanting it now, right? And so things may be going a little bit slower than you want. Right, but knowing things are turning a corner with the Knight of Cups, right? How he's offering out that cup, holding it forward, right? So doing things that fill up your heart space and bringing that compassion and love into your body, especially if you've been frustrated, upset, it's been hard to accept something that's been going on. Right, that's where you need to offer yourself that love as well, and watch how that can help shift an anxious mind, not being able to sleep, right? Letting go of some of that frustration because you don't want to hold that into your body. All right, with your soul, adversity. I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. And that word acceptance coming out a few times. Right, and practicing seeing the good in all things. That can be really hard to do, especially if you've been faced with a challenge, a struggle, especially if it's with your health. You don't really realize how valuable everything is about your body and your well-being until part of that might be taken away or part of that might not be working as well. Right? So that can be really frustrating, really scary. But if you're able, when you're able, getting out of anxiety mode and starting to see what can you learn from this challenge. Have you learned anything about yourself? All right, we've got the Moon and Ten of Cups. Those sort of came out sideways, almost in reverse. Right, so there could be things that have been either suppressed or not totally brought up to the surface yet. That could have to do with your feelings. It could have to do even with your fears. Some of that could be being shoved down a little bit. You know, you might feel like you've been kept away from your Ten of Cups, which is emotional fulfillment, happiness, things that flow easily and readily. Yeah, there's big choice energy surrounding you. So maybe there's something you have to make a decision on, and maybe this is about a new path, a new direction. Let's get one more with that. Not letting your fears drive your choices and decisions. Again, getting more into that settled place. As I already said, I know that can be super difficult. Sometimes that can feel impossible depending on what you are facing. I'll try one more shuffle here. Feeling a little bit awkward. That is so many cards. Yeah, there is some sort of new option. Something new that, again, gets you excited, has you feeling more love. Yeah, with Two of Cups, there could be, again, a blending internally with yourself, where you could be, again, coming to terms with something, bringing in more of that acceptance, and you might be finding more balance with your masculine and feminine, especially because we also saw the Lover's card. There could be some sort of partnership or union that comes in, whether this is in a romantic sense that gives you a little bit more hope, or maybe you find, again, a person to work with that shifts your perspective a little bit, or, you know, changes something about your routine. You know, someone that you're working with that can really help transform instead of staying stuck like we talked about at the beginning. And with King of Cups and the Hierophant, this is finding more emotional stability. This is someone, if this is a union with another person, or again, just some sort of partnership that helps guide things along, you could be finding a new teacher or a new leader, a new guide. Could be devoting a little bit more time. You could even join some sort of organization or some sort of program to help you stay committed and focused, because you are really committed to your well-being, to your health. Again, even if you've experienced that disappointment and sadness, it's at the bottom of the deck. Again, we have the Five of Cups. Looking at all the things that have been spilled that didn't work out, right? But again, there's that Two of Cups. That hope, again, maybe that person or that program or that path that you discover, right? But it's hard to see when you're focused on, right, what's not working, when you're focused on, right, what you don't have, what doesn't pan out. Yeah, so feeling more clear, making a decision, again, more with that clarity. We've got Three of the Kings out here as well. Which one are we missing? King of Pentacles. So again, there could be this lack of stability that you're feeling, and that's something that you're really seeking and wanting. Again, with health coming out, there has been some instability in an area with your health that has been hard to accept, right? But you're really starting to gain more clarity, sink more into your heart space, focus more on hope and moving forward, and the things you can do and the decisions you can make that can help right? Alleviate the heartbreak and sadness, right? Instead, bringing in more love, right? Which is what the Six of Cups is. Look at how those are all filled up with flowers. And again, we've got this partnership energy here. So it does seem like you are able to, again, either kind of marry the energy within yourself and start to work with your body instead of against it, right? Get your mind and your body on the same page. Or again, this could be an external person, program. This may be something that you even revisit or that you had thought of doing before. Or you could just get more into something that you used to enjoy when you were younger that you haven't done in a long time, right? And that gets you more excited, a little more curious. You're putting yourself out there a little bit more, and you're investing your energy and time in a better way and more into your health. All right, so really powerful message here with Mind, Body, Spirit today. Definitely very health focused. You know, something serious that you've struggled with, but you're ready to move forward. Again, try something new and bring more of that sun energy into it, feeling more hopeful, lighter, brighter, committing to yourself, committing to something that is going to bring you results, even if that is a little bit slower than you were hoping for. All right. So that is what we've got here for this Mind, Body, Spirit reading. If this is resonating for you, go ahead and like the video or leave me a comment. Let me know. I love to connect, but that's what we've got. And until next time, peace.